to the final installment of Creep Circuit, where we talk about the strange, the unusual, and today we'll be talking about the greatest holiday of all, Halloween! Now, I have a panel of experts with me. We'll start with the spookacabra, Jennae, and the mayor of Spookville, Phil. And Spooky Town, sorry. And I am your host, Monster Mishi. Let's go ahead and get comfortable while we just talk about our experiences with the greatest devil's night known as Halloween.
That's the last time we'll ever... Nope, never mind. Highlight.
No, we got one more.
We got one more time to put those masks on.
So, for me personally, I know Halloween is my favorite holiday of the year. I look forward to it all season. What about you guys?
All year.
All year.
I would say mine is definitely as well too, just because like I love horror stuff. Obviously, that's why we're doing this whole series. But yeah, anything scary, spooky, it's a lot of fun. I love haunted houses and such. That's my favorite stuff. So.
And you worked in a haunted house one year,
I
didn't
did.
you? 2 years.
Yeah. Hold on, can we pause real fast? Do you
Yeah.
have like blood or something on your face? Or you're just all red on your nose?
It's probably from the mask.
Oh, can you see? Or is
No,
that?
I can't.
Is it
Oh, I
lipstick?
can't see.
It's probably lipstick.
It
Is
might
it
be
lipstick?
lipstick.
I don't see any.
You might have wiped it off. Never mind. Anyway, okay.
Well, that's rude.
I'm sorry.
No,
I was trying to
that's
help
just
you.
my nose.
I don't see anything.
Yeah.
rolling.
Oh.
You
Go
might have
ahead.
got it the first time. Anyway.
Okay. Anyways, where should we pick up?
Halloween and how much we like it.
Yeah.
Okay. So you worked in a haunted house
I
before.
did.
What was that experience
It
like?
sucked. Yeah, that kind of killed the haunted houses for me just a little bit. It was quarantine, old interactive haunted house here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It just was a lot of work for a little bit less of a payoff. It wasn't their best storyline, because usually what's really good about quarantine is they actually had really good stories involved with them. Like there was one year, it was like cults into this like corn maze and stuff like that. They're raising people from the dead, and they had like trucks you had to jump into and zoom away while the zombies are chasing you.
Whoa.
And this one was aliens, and you had to get evidence of this alien and then walk out. That was like about it. Like the big scary monster kind of wasn't worth the payoff. The guides really had to sell a lot of it in my experience, and the alien costumes were just a little. They could have been better, but you know,
What is the scariest haunted house you've been in?
scariest one. The one in McCall's Pumpkin Patch in Moriarty was one of the scariest ones that I went into, or it was just one of the funnest ones I went into. Because essentially, with horror, with haunted houses, that's my favorite thing. It's just like how, like, I love to see like the setup of it. Like, ooh, what's the theme of this room? Ooh, it's a butcher shop or something like that. This is where people die. I love seeing all that sort of thing. Sort of that stuff. So yeah, McCall's was really great. Like they had a whole room where it's like this cylinder that just disorients you as you're walking through. It's like a cylinder of like neon paints.
Oh.
And you walk straight through it. So, but if you look around, you get way disoriented, and then you go in like a room full of mirrors, and the killer clowns from outer space masks are there, and one of them is moving, and yeah, it's just great. I love all that cheesy stuff, but yeah, working in a haunted house and screaming for every week up until Halloween is rough. It's just rough. So, and I had other projects going on too, so it's like I needed to try and save my voice sometimes. So
I'm scary.
What about you, Jennae? Do you have a haunted house love too, or?
The way I live my life is spooky stuff is just the way, and I think you can agree with me.
Yeah.
It's spooky stuff is just a way of life. So yeah, Halloween is the best, but it's not really different than how I behave anyway. It's just like more of a chance to watch ghost stories on TV, and they have more ghost specials. That's why I like it.
Yeah.
They have the monster specials and the aliens. Like they have all that good stuff on the TV. And I sound really old when I say on the TV.
My stories.
My stories.
What
But
is your go-to must-see every Halloween special?
I don't know. Probably.
Do you revisit like
I
Ghost
watch.
Adventures?
I watch a lot of Ancient Aliens.
Okay.
And I'll watch because they play a lot of Ancient Aliens. But then
Alien.
Alien. But then what I really like is this Canadian show called. I think it's a haunting. It's not a haunting. It's because that's another good one. It's a haunting, and because because we've done some really good reenactments this time, and I pulled all of my my inspiration from a haunting, and that's what I watch every year is a haunting because it's a series, but the reenacting acting is just so good that I want to be a reenactment person for the rest of my life. I just think I could make a good living doing reenactments.
Being a reenactor.
Yeah, I think that would be.
Yeah.
So I mean, I just liked watching a lot. I don't have like a specific one, but a haunting is pretty high up there.
Yeah.
What about you, Michelle? What's your favorite thing about Halloween and such?
My favorite thing about Halloween has less to do with scary stuff than it does about clothing. So thrift
Scary
stores
clothing.
put out all their best vintage clothes as costumes, and I can get like the greatest stuff for $8. That's considered a costume. So I love that about Halloween. I also live my life a very spooky life. So it's not different. It's nice to see like the memes and all that good and other people embracing the creepy.
Yeah.
So that's always fun.
Yeah, I feel like I had to get rid of a lot of my spooky stuff. Like, I don't want to say I had to grow up, but it's like I've been with people who are like, we are not hanging up that pumpkin picture right now. It's like, why? Why? So I feel like I definitely had to get rid of a lot of my terror horror stuff. And
if you keep it all in books, nobody knows.
Really?
Or if you get lots of tattoos of it, no one can take them away from you.
It's fine. I'll just re-hang them up once a year.
Or that.
Yeah, I miss doing that.
So, do you have something that you go back to and rewatch every Halloween?
Rewatch Halloween. Killer Clowns from Outer Space is definitely one I'll rewatch. If I could ever find again, this I don't know if we have that. We do. I'll just bring it up now. But nope, I'll leave it for later.
I don't know what it is.
Oh, my favorite horror movie I was gonna bring up, but we'll not bring that up now.
Well, what about TV specials?
TV
Let's
specials.
go with that.
Okay.
'Cause yours is a TV special, right?
Yeah.
You have a TV special. Let me think. I don't really watch TV anymore, as you know. If anything, I really like watching a lot of the fun stuff that's kind of out there now. You send me a lot of good stuff. Like, was the Razzle?
Razzle, it's part of Huluween.
Huluween, yeah. That one was really fun. I really liked that. I remember watching Lights Out, that original, 2-minute horror film or something like that. Have you ever seen it?
It's a 2-minute horror film?
Yeah, it's really,
I'm
really
into that.
short.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it was really good. So, like, I like watching those or, like, other, like, creepypastas or something like that. That's, like, the only thing I'll really do. Or, yeah.
So if you like the quick horror, you might want to check out Huluween because there are, like, 5 or 6 4 or 5 minute videos, horror videos, and they're really good. They're not like anything super terrifying, but you'll like it too. You'll appreciate the reenactment quality of some of them.
Good.
But they're a lot of fun. I feel like the content now, as far as horror related things for Halloween, are really, really amazing. Like Sabrina, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. That looks amazing. I don't know if you guys watched the trailer for that. We might be getting into screen source territory, so we won't sit here for too long. Yeah, but I feel like a lot of the big, the last time I saw a big surge of exciting Halloween centric shows was back in the late 90s, early 2000s with things like Goosebumps.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember the Haunted Mask? They made it into a movie.
Like
the
a
Curse of the
miniseries or something like
Curse
that?
of the Haunted Mask.
Or
And
not a
build up-
miniseries, like a made-to-TV movie.
A made-for-TV movie, yeah.
And don't forget those Disney Halloween movies.
Oh,
I've never seen one, but I'm sure
Halloween
they're
Town.
great. Like Halloween Town, is that
Halloween
one?
Town.
Yeah.
that was a big one.
HE double hockey sticks. Is that a Halloween one?
It might have been, I don't know.
I remember that.
I'm
Yeah,
Kevin
they
Smith.
used to.
Sorry.
Yeah, like there used to be big. That used to be
Yeah.
like a big event for you to see the Goosebump movie. Now I guess there's like legit Goosebump movies in theaters.
With
Yeah.
Jack Black.
Really?
He plays
he's
R.L. Stein. Yeah, I watched CinemaSins version of it, or like doing it. That's how I watch movies.
Yeah.
Is I watch the CinemaSins like version of it, so I don't actually have to watch the movie. That's what I know about. That's how I know a lot about It Follows.
Oh,
Really?
Because I saw the CinemaSins version of it.
Yeah, but those used to be big deals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it
At
kind of
least,
feels like
yeah.
it's coming back now with these.
Do you
sort of-
remember there was one really good Are You Afraid of the Dark, which is another
Mhm.
like Disney or not Disney, Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon.
I remember one that they play that was very scary, and maybe our producer can look it up. But there was one about a clown.
And the cigars.
Yeah, and the cigars. Yeah, I
cigars,
remember thinking like this is. I remember watching it and being like, this is legitimately scary.
Oh gosh.
And I feel like this isn't a kids show.
Yeah.
What's
'cause I
going
remember it, like,
on?
yeah. I just remember it being like I can't remember. And it was actually Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Are You Afraid of the Dark? It
Yeah.
was part of the first or second season, and you
Yeah.
watch it and you're like, this
Yeah,
is
so
not
li-
made for children.
Yeah,
It's
like basically
terrifying.
it was like the
Yeah.
clown, like there was a challenge that the kids would all try to do to take the nose from the clown, or somebody challenged the kid to take
What?
the nose off of the clown.
So it was an animatronic clown.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like a
yeah.
human.
And, like pops him in the head.
Take your
Um,
nose.
Yeah. So
We're gonna now live watch it. No, but so yeah, he took the nose from the animatronic clown, and then he started to be chased around by the clown. You never saw it, but like you would, like his door was closed, and you see big floppy shoes walking outside, and like a balloon would blow up. That's like give it back or something like that, and it just like kept going until eventually he took the nose back. Because, like, you know, if you get to the wrong door, it was like in a maze or something.
Yeah.
And if you get to the wrong door, you'll run into, I can't remember the name of the clown.
Zebu or something.
Zebu?
It was something weird like that, yeah.
And
I can't read it
think
from there, but
there was
yeah.
something.
Zebu?
Yeah. And then it smelled like cigarette smoke. I don't.
Yeah, or yeah,
because
his
it
favorite things were
burned
cigars or
The
something.
clown's favorite thing was
Yeah.
cigars.
How? Hold on.
I think
feel
it was
like we're
based on a
missing
real
something.
person or something. I don't know. I can't remember. If you guys remember, throw it in the comments.
Yeah, and definitely if you haven't seen it in a while, go back.
Yeah,
and
rewatch it. I'm pretty
It's-
sure we could probably find the full version live on
It
YouTube
is
now.
probably on YouTube. Yeah.
But yeah, that was definitely one where I watched that. I remember watching that and being like, "Fuck, this is actually scaring me."
I'm freaking out, man.
Yeah, yeah. Game over, man.
So there was a big clown phenomenon when it came out, and everybody was like, oh, clowns, I love them, scared of them. And there were seas of Pennywise costumes coming up. Did you ever dress as clowns? Do you
No.
have a favorite Halloween costume?
I'm a fairy almost every year.
Did you say it's a very specific fairy?
I'm a Halloween fairy very often. This year, for work, I'm gonna be a woodland fairy.
Ooh, mixing
But
it
a
up.
steampunk woodland fairy.
Ooh, really mixing
Yeah.
it up. I'm trying to think. Is there anything that I remember? I do remember the last time I really ever dressed for Halloween.
Uh-huh.
I got like this badass Gumby costume.
Oh god!
And it was just so cool. It was a full body costume, and like I couldn't really like see in there, but it was just like so cool because I love Gumby. And like I just was walking around everywhere, and we kept going to haunted houses. You were there too.
Yeah, I was there.
And every time we got close to one, they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to take off your mask." In order to do that, since it's a full body, I need to zip it down and just lower it and like hold on to like Gumby's torso.
That's
as I'm,
morbid.
like, walking. Yeah, you think so? It was more exhausting. And he totally killed my Halloween spirit. I was like, "Oh, I can't go anywhere with this cool ass costume."
Like you couldn't drink, you couldn't.
Yeah, like it was just like those are my drinking days too. So you could have like had a whole bunch of fun,
Oh,
but
no.
like no, you can't do anything like that anymore. So, like I was like, that was like my last year of that. So I don't dress anymore. I don't know. How about you, Michelle? Do you dress up?
I dress up almost every year, and I usually don't go out because it's really, really cold. So I'm just like, oh, sorry, guys, I'm going to stay in tonight. My favorite costume that I've done most recently was Lydia from Beetlejuice, the cartoon. That was a lot of fun, and I was a giant bat, which...
How cute!
Yeah, I'm basically a human bat as it is, so having a giant bat sweater to wear with the wings and everything
That's so adorbs.
is pretty, yeah, it's
Adorbs.
pretty much
That's
it. You're planning to dress up for
Yeah.
work.
Uh-huh.
Are you planning to dress up this year? You're not going to bring your Halloween
No.
spirit. We have
No.
not brought in your Halloween spirit back.
No.
We have been Halloweening for days.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
been
a fucking.
Halloweening for
I'm a
weeks.
terrible person. On top of quarantine, killing all my fun. No, honestly, I am trying to get back into it. I really want to make an effort. In fact, I have like some friends, and maybe you guys, if you want to come too, we're gonna maybe all go hit up McCall's Pumpkin Patch.
And that
or
means you
something
too,
that.
viewers.
You viewers, get over here to Albuquerque
And you can come to McCall's Pumpkin Patch as well.
yeah.
Go ahead.
But yeah, if you guys want to come check that out, I think I want to try and get back into it because it's like after working the haunted house, I was like, okay, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't want to work on it. And also working retail, 9 times out of 10, you're working on Halloween. Because they're like, well, we still open, even though nobody's coming in.
When I worked at Smith's, it was like drunk people.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah. Well, we were a clothing store, so it's like, who is coming in?
I need clothes now.
Yeah. No, do all my school shopping.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
That's not a
Yeah.
terrible idea.
Only the smart people would be there.
Well,
but yeah.
later on, after...
Maybe I'll dress up too. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you totally should. You should really get back into it because later on we will talk to somebody who has lost their Halloween spirit and
true.
what dangers of trick-or-treating. But before that, Jennae is going to give us a little lesson on some Halloween symbols.
So, I have a book again. I like me and my books. This is
Should
the
be
Element Encyclopedia of Secret Signs and Symbols, the ultimate A to Z guide from alchemy to the zodiac, by Adele Nosdar. That's a great name,
that's a wonderful
Nosdar.
hello from the other side.
Hello, Adele Nosdar, or Adelaide. I don't know. So I'm just going to read a quick history of Halloween because I found it in here and I think maybe it'll enlighten all of us. Halloween is the abbreviated term for All Hallows Eve, the day before All Saints' Day. This was the church's attempt to associate their own saints with the time of the pagan spirits. Today is personified by the image of the witch, abroad at night on her broomstick with her black cat perched alongside.
Hold on. Did they really say abroad at night?
Yes, they do. This is an encyclopedia.
Oh, patriarchy.
This broad at night.
No, a broad. It's one word.
Oh,
not
okay.
abroad at night.
Broad at night. Oh.
No. Oh gosh, that'd be awful.
I know.
Witches can also make boats from undamaged eggshell hafts, apparently, and so are sometimes seen abroad
Okay.
on the seas using this unusual method of transport. Every country around the world celebrates its dead in some way. Halloween is one of these celebrations. Effectively, it's a Christian hijacking of older Samhain festival, one of the festivals that form the 8-spoked Wheel of the Year. In the pre-Christian Celtic world, the cross-quarter day that marked the Feast of the Dead. A Night of the Living Dead is celebrated in all parts of the world at about the same time, a symbol of the end of the harvest as the closing down of the year, and a time of death. Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
It was the traditional time when the animals were brought in for the winter, and so it seemed appropriate to welcome the dead back too. Bonfires were lit at this time in order to guide the dead back to the world of the living, and bells were rung. That's all it says about that.
Yeah.
Bells were rung.
That's it.
This time of the year when the veil between the worlds of the living and the dead was at its thinnest. The ancestors are honored and their spirits are believed to be able to communicate with the living more easily now than any other time. Divination, in the form of necromancy, seances, etc., is likely to be more effective now than at any other time too. There are certain rituals that guarantee entry into the other world. One of these is to find a tumulus or similar place that has fairy associations and run 9 times around it.
Because that's easy to find.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you have to do it 9 times.
The home is traditionally decorated with things that are intended to scare away the demons that abound at this time. However, these items often look pretty demonic themselves. Well, yeah. Because it's the time of the pumpkin harvest. The large orange vegetables are hollowed out and have faces cut into them that are lit from within by candles. Jack-o'-lanterns. Sometimes Halloween is called Nutcrack Night. Did you know that? I didn't know that.
Never heard that.
The nut harvest is at its peak, so it's natural that nuts, themselves symbolic of promise and fertility, should be used in a ritual to determine a future lover. Ooh. Nuts are named after the eligible people and placed into a fire. Oh, I love this! The first one to crack in the heat of the flame signifies the lucky future partner. Apple bobbing, too, is a popular pastime at this time of year. Apples, of course, signify the underworld. Okay. The practice is a trick-or-treating, is an American invention and reflects the idea of that normal rules are suspended for the night.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So, speaking of trick-or-treating,
Yes.
let's go ahead and we're going to put our 2 Halloween experts to the test. And we're going to see if they can pick out a piece of candy and determine what it is in this blind taste test of candy triggered Halloween favorites.
Do we have like
I
blindfolds?
have.
A
No,
blindfold?
I don't
Okay.
have one. But I have a whole sack of candy right here.
Oh my
and
gosh.
with this, you guys are going to reach your hand in.
Not
and
look.
Not look.
Keep our eyes closed.
And it's an honor system here.
Okay.
I'll
Okay.
take my glasses off so I'll know. I won't even know the shape of it.
I'm just gonna take a short nap and.
All right. Spookacabra, you
I don't
wanna
know
go
why I
first?
decided to check my phone like an idiot when my glasses off. It's like
Okay, Phil, go ahead and, Mayor, go ahead and take your hand in. And we want to make sure that, go ahead and open up your hands. Let me see, you guys have 2 different pieces. Show the cameras if you can. Camera, can you see it? Okay, and go ahead on the count of 3, put them in your mouths. 1,
Unwrap 'em
2,
first?
or unwrap them first. Or you know what, I won't put a time limit.
Okay.
So
Ready?
we can put them in our mouths.
1, 2, 3, in.
There's no paper on this, right?
No, you're good.
Okay.
Oh, what is this?
That's
It's a sour ball.
sour ball?
Is that what it's called? It's really sour.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
It is a crybaby sour
Oh.
ball. Yes.
I'd give it to her.
I'm going to give you that one. You can spit it out if you'd like. You don't have to keep it. Bill?
I believe I got one of those shitty like black or orange candies I used to get back in the when I was little. It's like a weird peanut buttery flavor. Like it's like almost like a taffy, but I have no idea what flavor this is.
Oh.
Peanut butter?
He is absolutely right. It is a shitty black or orange candy from a peanut butter candy. I think these are Mary Jane's. I'm not
No,
sure.
I don't think so.
Okay, well, they're a shitty black or orange candy. They don't...
Yeah, the wrappers.
Somewhere.
Okay, that's fine.
It's fine. Okay, ready for round 2.
Oh, wait. Okay. Okay.
We'll just spit it out.
Okay. Go ahead and reach your Oh.
Are we just? We're just describing what it is.
Well, you're guessing what it is.
Okay, gotcha.
Am I getting another sour ball? Or
No, that's different.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Where?
Right in here.
Look with your eyes. This one. This one seems.
Yes. Okay. Go ahead and show the camera.
My.
Yes. All right. And go ahead and unwrap and put them in your mouth.
I can't.
Do you need help?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
I'm worried about this one.
Oh, I really like the feeling of this one. Are we ready?
Go ahead.
Oh. Yep.
It's gummy. It's not bad.
Yeah, mine's gummy too, and it's not that bad. I cannot tell you for the life of me what flavor that is.
I don't know what flavor this
Yeah.
is. I'm gonna say it had a weird shape to it.
Yeah,
is
yeah,
Mary
that's I
Jane.
feel that too.
Yeah. Okay. So those shitty black and orange candies are Mary Jane's. So
Okay.
yeah,
Well, that's that.
that's that.
Uh-huh.
All right. What is your thoughts?
Generic gummy carrots.
Generic gummy carrots,
I
Phil.
feel like mine's a gummy. I want to say like a burger or something.
A
Like I feel like
gummy
it's those
burger.
SpongeBob Krabby Patty.
Well,
Gummies.
you are both on the right track. It is a
Gummy.
generic gummy 3D monster.
Oh!
You guys both pulled the same candy. So, let me see if I could pull one for you.
That had no flavor.
I know. What flavor was that?
Generic.
It was generic.
And the plastic.
It's so generic.
Stain. That's how generic it is.
Okay.
All right. So, I think we oh no, there's about 3 others that you guys could get.
Okay.
So, let's go ahead and reach your hand into the candy bag. Okay?
Oh,
Me
I
first?
hope
Or you?
this is. I know what this is.
Okay.
I know exactly what I got too.
Okay, go ahead and show the camera what you all have.
I'm gonna make a mess if I open this the wrong way.
And open up your candies, please. All of these candies can be found at your local Dollar Tree for $1.
I can't. I'm
I got
so
Smarties.
Smarties.
Yeah.
I know I have
All
Smarties.
You got Smarties too?
Yeah.
The Halloween classic Smarties. What is worse in your bag than Smarties? Anything?
Sour things.
Sour things.
Jennae got the one thing she didn't like.
I didn't like that at all.
Like, God damn it.
What is the worst thing to get in your...
That's a good question.
The little salad packets that they came out with. I don't know if that's real, but that's funny to me.
salad packet?
Like they had like little. I had my eyes are still closed for some reason.
Definitely when I was younger, Mary Janes were the worst. I remember
Yeah.
getting a ton of those and not liking them. Also, I remember getting cookies.
No.
Cookies sounds good.
It does, but they weren't wrapped, so.
What?
Oh, gross.
Yeah, I remember like one of the first Halloweens I remember. A guy pretty much had opened a thing of Oreos and just grabbed cookies and dropped
Oh, I
them in there.
remember they
Yeah.
used to do that. Okay, I would love some Oreos.
Like
Well,
I
in a
actually like
package.
it. I like it when people give me like toothbrushes and like toothpaste and stuff, like the mini travel ones. It's like
Yeah.
cool. I'm gonna tell you to take that with me.
All right, go ahead and close your hand. And we're going to hope this
Close
is
your
the
mouth.
last
You can
round.
make it loud.
Oh.
Okay, actually, if Felipe gets the same thing, then we're going to have to go into sudden death. And he did get the same thing.
Okay, I'll put it
No,
back.
go ahead. You can get the same thing. It's
But you have to guess. I know it's a sucker,
Yeah.
But it's specific.
but it's like
Well,
a.
I'll get that one then. Yeah. I'll
Okay.
just get that. Do I have the right? Okay.
Yes, you do. Go ahead and show the camera what you all have
Oh
here.
no! I feel like I think I know this one,
And go ahead and unwrap.
and
I
I think
can't.
this is. I know I was gonna say this is like a dead giveaway.
What is it?
It's like a shitty caramel, isn't it?
I love caramel. I wish I got that. It's like this thing I can't open.
That's what I have to. I think that's what it is, because I remember like the stick was hollow.
Oh, weird.
Yep, that's what it is.
I can't open this at all.
How did you
Yeah,
open
I'm ready. Oh, it's chocolate actually.
Here,
Oh,
I'll
I
put
just
it-
broke it. I don't know. Are we done with
You
that?
can't. No, you can't. Never mind.
Oh.
Hold on. Here you go. Take this one. If you can.
Good pull with that one though, by the way. Like, geez, I haven't thought of these ones in a while.
Now, this is a good selection.
You weren't
Yeah.
supposed to look.
Oh, I already guessed it.
You didn't.
It's a spooky candy.
Yeah, okay, you're just qualified.
I
We're gonna have
lost.
to go into round 3. Here you
Uh-huh.
go.
It's one of those. Are they like Mexican suckers?
Yes, that is right. They are chupa chups.
Or are those?
Chupas.
Yeah.
Chupa chup.
I think I got orange.
How do you
I got chocolate.
I
chop?
got.
This is embarrassing because I've been taking Spanish classes for the past 2 months. I don't know what this says. It's chupa chups. Chupa chups. Chupa chups.
That's what I would say.
Yes, and these are actually vegan friendly. I looked that up in case Jess and Dylan wanted to play, but
Aw. You
anyways,
can leave a bowl of them for
we'll leave.
Oh, I did get orange.
You did get orange. So now it is sudden death. There is one
another
candy
one?
there is one candy remaining that has yet to be picked, and no,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Oh,
not.
thank God.
I know.
I was.
We were talking about candy corn, and the producer put up. Alex put up candy corn.
I
And
just.
yeah, I probably candy corn is one of, and those stupid pumpkins too. I don't like those.
I
ones.
like the pumpkins. I don't like
No.
candy corn. All the candy corn there was very, very hard, so I didn't want
That's
to
why
break your teeth.
all of it.
Okay.
That's such a good
So I'm
question. I
gonna
want to like think about this more because I remember candy.
guide you towards something.
Oh,
Close
this
your
one feels
eyes.
delicious.
And this is the last candy. Go ahead and show
Hmm.
the camera what candy we will be trying today. We are no way
I know. I
in
feel like
shape
this one can't harm us, Jennae.
I feel good about this.
affiliated with this brand. So go ahead and unwrap and taste.
It's a Three Musketeers. Is
Yeah.
that right?
No. Wait. Why does it? It tastes weird. Is mine a bug?
And he found the poison musketeer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Three Musketeers. Oh, okay.
It
cool.
is a Three
I
Musketeers.
haven't had a Three Musketeers in forever, and that used to be my favorite candy.
Well, our Halloween experts stumped our trick-or-treat bag, and they had guessed all 6 candies correctly.
Woo.
Give yourselves a round of applause,
Yay.
spooky buds.
Now I'm all sugary.
And I
Mwah.
have, like, I know.
Go ahead and take, and you guys
I'm
can
gonna go
help
back to this
yourself.
sucker.
Our producer can help himself as well to any candy he sees
Candily.
fit.
I got the extreme sour baby crybaby.
No.
I'll leave this for Alex if you want to put that to the side. So what are we already talked about candy.
Hold on.
Costumes, candy. Let's see. I hated when I would get pennies. So I'm a small child, and I have nothing to do with pennies. It's just
People give you pennies?
Yeah, they just be like, here you go, pennies. And now that I'm older and I have my own place, I do like to keep it stocked. If somebody was going to come to my house, I have little sodas, I have little chips, and I have full-size candy bars.
You're always at a constant state of trick-or-treat.
I am on alert if anybody comes to my house, but I have yet to have a trick-or-treater since I've lived on my own, which has been going on for quite some time. Do you guys have trick-or-treaters still, or experiences trick-or-treating?
I just moved into my place, so I have no clue.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, ditto. My place, too. I kind of doubt I'm going to get any trick-or-treaters.
I bet, well, it's like on Washington. Oh, yeah, here I'm going to tell everybody where I live.
Yeah, I know. I hesitated, too. I was like, not even tell anyone.
But it's like on a kind of busy street is what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
And so I don't think there'll be a lot of...
No.
Maybe
Foot
on the
traffic.
side streets.
Yeah.
But not
Oh,
on
yeah. I've been to your place. Yeah, I think around there they might.
I mean, it's a nice neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's just I don't think they'll be right on the street that...
Yeah.
I already said it, so it doesn't matter. But
I mean, you could cut it. So.
no. I'm going to tell everybody where I live.
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Ever since I've lived in apartments here in New Mexico, I don't think I've ever handed out more than a total of like 5 pieces of candy at all to any trick-or-treaters. Excuse me. I remember when I was younger. I'm sorry, all the candy. It really got to me. I remember when I was younger, obviously apartments were like jackpots. Like, 'cause you just basically go up and down, all the way across, everywhere. You hit it all, and you get as much candy as you can have. I remember trick-or-treating till like at least 2 in the morning.
Really?
Yeah, with my dad. Yeah, like because we're like, no, let's just keep going. We're halfway through the apartment, and we still got a few good haul. I remember like the last house we went to. It was this older guy who was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I gave out all my candy." He was like, we clearly woke him up, and he gave us like a bowl full of quarters. I think I got like $12 in quarters. And my cousin had walked back, and I was like, "Oh, he missed out on this." Like, yeah, well, he wanted to walk back. He didn't end up with money, so yeah. But
well, that should be a lesson to all these people out there, because right now we are going to talk with an individual, a local man, who has not had the best experiences with trick-or-treating, and it's going to be a lesson as to the dangers of what you hand out for Halloween.
Thank you for tuning in and joining us. We at Creep Circuit, we really want to reach out to the community to let people know of some lesser known problems that happen with trick-or-treating. We're here with a local blockhead whose life was destroyed one fateful Halloween. The dangers of trick-or-treating. Just for, to protect your anonymity. Thank you, Jennae.
You're welcome.
We're going to just call him C. Brown. Or,
No.
this is too obvious?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll just call him Charlie B. Okay, Mr. B.
Good grief.
Alright, Mr. B. So I understand that you had a pretty rotten experience trick-or-treating once.
Once it was like my whole entire childhood. It's like I relived it every freaking year. Every year, I'd go out with my so-called friends, and we'd go through the neighborhood, and they'd all get candy or apples, or sometimes they get money. Sometimes they get money, you guys. And all I got was a freaking rock.
Every year?
Every year. Every house.
Did you ever think it might have been the neighborhood you were located in? Maybe it was a poorer neighborhood. They didn't have enough.
It's all we knew. I mean, we lived by a nice pond. We had, ample football fieldage, well, I don't want to get into that, but we had nice trees. It was a nice neighborhood. It's all we knew, and all my friends, they didn't want to go to another neighborhood because they got Snickers, they got Reese's, and
Wow. So was it the same kind of rock every year? Like maybe like a volcanic rock some year, or just the same?
No, it's not like they got fancy over the years or they changed it up. It was just like gray rocks.
Gray
a little flat
rock.
on top, but you knew they were rocks. It's not like you could. Oh, I misplaced the mounds and gave them a rock instead. No, it was clearly a rock.
Well, so that fateful
Wasn't even one of
night-
those joke rocks where it's like, turn me over, and then on the other side it says, oh, that felt good. You know what I mean? Am I the only person to see those? Boy,
I just think
God,
you have rocks in your life.
I know. I'm so sorry, but I know you. Ever since that fateful night, like, where has your life taken you? Like, are you married right now? Do you have a family or any? Do you have any brothers or sisters?
I have one sister. She probably doesn't want me to say her name. She's kind of in a, not talk to the rest of the family anymore. She tried acting on a couple of independent fronts. They didn't go too well.
Oh man.
No, I'm out there. I'm trying to make it happen as an adult man, but it's getting hard. The older you get, the harder it is to find friends and love. And like, nobody wants to go trick-or-treating with a 36-year-old.
Oh, so you're still trick-or-treating at 36?
I mean, it's like I'm in this perpetual loop for my entire life. I mean, every Christmas, I'm like trying to find a meaning of Christmas, and every Thanksgiving, I'm trying to recreate having a picnic in my backyard with my friends. And you know how many pounds of jelly beans I've eaten and popcorn in my backyard alone? My mid-30s?
So you're saying your friends have moved on, but you have not?
Yeah, more or less.
I mean, what happened to all your friends? I'm sure they all are doing other things.
You're darn right they are, Phil. Well, Peppermint Patty's a senator.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of what state?
Rhode Island.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That-
Right?
that
Right?
makes sense.
And Lucy, can I curse?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yes.
That bitch. God.
No, did you guys have a thing or something going on?
Can you believe I lost my virginity to her?
To Lucy?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was awkward and
That sounds awful.
Was she like dominating or like submissive?
yeah, she really picked me out of the crowd. She knew what I had to offer, and she just, oh man,
Took it away from you.
God,
Wow.
that was a dark prom. You know what I'm saying?
Jesus.
Dark prom.
That is
sounds
ridiculous.
horrible.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Well, what are you doing with your life right now? Are you working? Where are you working at right now?
I'm bouncing around different Walmarts wherever they need me in town. I'm
Like a freelance Walmart?
yeah,
Wow.
like I'm actually it's my one bragging point is that I'm pretty good greeting people. And a lot of people going into Walmart, they don't want a lot.
Yeah.
They don't want a lot. They just want like a nod and a wave, and I can do that. I can do that pretty well.
That's good.
What's your favorite Walmart location?
Probably the one on Wyoming. Local reference.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, I know that one. That's
It's one of the
killer
newer ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have like the market and like separated into two sides where it's like go to this side for market and go to this
Yeah.
side for
You know where you stand.
Yeah.
At that
Yeah.
Walmart. Yeah.
You're not gonna walk into like the children's panties. Oh, that was weird.
Is this interview gonna go on any longer?
This is oh my God.
I thought I was supposed to be the off-putting one. I thought that was my
Child.
I will cut that out.
No, keep it. The child panties.
Well, I was just saying the opposite of food
Yeah.
is child panties.
Is that the direct opposite?
I guess that's
Well, no,
talk to-
but
It's the direct opposite of food. Rocks. That's all I got. Trick or treating.
but they don't
you.
sell rocks at a Walmart, do they? Is that where they get them to give to you?
They have landscaping area. We have a nice landscaping area.
Oh, okay. So where do you think these rocks have come from throughout your
Yeah.
whole life? Do you think there's a rock monster chasing
God.
you? Oh yeah, I'm
You
sorry.
know, in my later teen years, I thought that much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was spending a lot of time alone in my dorm room. I couldn't get a roommate,
Really?
Oh.
so I just like had all these thoughts as to like maybe there are really monsters, and maybe they're made out of rocks, maybe they're made out of my fears.
Wow.
Which would be a rock in
That
a
would
way.
be a
Right.
rock.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
like
you know,
holding you back.
one time my sister
Uh-huh.
for Christmas, you know what she got me?
What's that?
Box of rocks.
What?
Like more than one
More
rock.
a
God.
box of rocks. It was heavy and it was big, and everyone thought, Chuck got the big gift under the tree. Lucky him. It was rocks.
Pulled it right away from you at the last minute once again. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry.
So
Just real
I
quick,
have a question. I'm sorry.
okay,
It's
go ahead.
really important.
That's fine. Yeah.
I just need you to give advice to the kids that have been getting rocks out there.
Uh-huh.
What do you have to say to them?
Stay home. It's not worth it, you guys. There's plenty of programming on television. I'm sure Freeform has like a marathon of like nice, safe Halloween movies. If you got burned before by rocks, just give up. God, I wish somebody was older than me when I was a kid to tell me to give up.
Oh, wow. Well, you are going to be an inspiration to all those kids. Why don't you tell me just a few other little random questions here. What's your favorite Halloween movie?
Oh, my favorite Halloween movie. That probably. I like the first Friday the 13th.
Okay, that's a good one.
All the attractive people got murdered.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. I get that now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And do you like the Nightmare on Elm Street where those sexy teenagers got murdered?
Oh, they died in that one too, huh?
Yeah, yeah, like Johnny
Yeah.
Depp.
That's right. Kevin Bacon and Friday the 13th and Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp.
Yeah, they're all attractive and they all got what's coming to them by somebody with a skin condition. Fuck yeah.
So I read here that you went to college at Brown. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
They,
I'll acknowledge that one.
it's-
You can cut that one.
Oh no.
So
it's kind of a given.
look, not to bring it down, but maybe we'll start slowing this interview down here a little bit. Maybe make this one the last. But I hear one of your best friends recently passed away. Was put down.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
sorry. I don't know if you want to talk about it because I know you've been having such a hard time with everything, and
Yeah, that really.
like if that was the
He lived a lot longer than I thought he was.
really.
Would have. Him being a dog, but he was really my only friend.
Oh,
Even though he had like a writing career,
really?
and he actually his best friend was a bird. It was really
Really?
kind of awkward. One time I asked him who his best friend was because I just told him he was my best friend,
Oh.
and he just kind of he stuck his nose in the air like a priss,
Yeah.
you know, and he kind of motioned over this little yellow bird that was on his doghouse.
Mm-hmm.
Who and they both had like matching like pilot gear from like the 1920s.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then they'd play all the time. I mean, he was a good dog.
Yeah.
I don't know how significant I was in his life.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
so- I'm
You
so
fed him, did you not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I fed him every day, and when he wasn't, dancing with my friends, whenever they would play music, I'd give him walks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did a lot together.
I'm so sorry. Hold on, we'll cut through. What?
There's a little gray.
Wait. Oh, I see. Okay, gotcha. Okay. So C. Brown, thank you so much for being here, and as a gift.
Uh-huh.
Look, before you came here to, tell us your whole story, we pitched in to get you something, but we didn't realize the trauma, but we got you a rock.
What?
But this one's like a special rock.
Can't see.
Oh. Do you want me to put
Put
it
it in
my
my
hole? Oh.
Put it in my hand.
Put it in his eye hole.
Oh, it's jiggly.
That's right. It's a
Jiggly rock.
Soggy rock.
Finally, a rock I can dominate.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a hard rock full of minerals and dirt.
Yeah. Well, we just want you to take care of yourself, and we hope you'll continue to breathe inspiration to all the kids who need a helping hand.
And I just want to tell you guys, no matter what you hear about me in the papers, sometime soon, you guys had nothing to do with it.
Wow.
You guys had nothing to do with it.
Okay. Not a problem. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
See you in therapy.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. We'll be right back.
Aww.
Unfortunately, he will not be making it to this Halloween, but he will be in our thoughts and prayers. You can send rocks to his memorial service, which we'll have linked down below.
Yes. Oh, my God.
So,
R.I.P.
Poor thing.
That makes me so sad. Oh, well, I'll just keep eating my sucker.
I remember, at least when I was younger, also, not only were those jackpots, but the richer neighborhoods, which I still want to one day drive by to see if they have such great setups. Because, like, I remember there's one, I could point it out later, but it was like so legit. Everybody would hand out full-size candies, king-size candies. They would have their entire front yards decorated. Somebody would be standing there and, like, scare you. They just went like so hardcore with it, and there's like every kid, like all my classmates from elementary school were there, a whole bunch of people I didn't know, and we were all just circling around. I guess I'm curious, has anybody ever done the horrible, unexcusable, unforgivable act of bag snatching?
No.
Good. Thank
Have you?
No. Of course not. No, I've never bag snatched. That's seriously
That is
so mean.
so
That's,
unforgivable.
like,
Terrible.
it's like,
But it'd be so easy now.
it's true.
But you could just buy your own candy.
Having a job and buying your own candy seems a little better than bag
Than
snatching.
taking from a small child.
Well,
Yeah,
what do you
'cause
think about like when we used to check candy? Because I remember getting a bag of candy, you'd have to dump it out and you'd have to check it to make sure there was no tears in it.
Or razor blades.
Or razor
Yes.
blades or needle.
I don't think my
holes.
mom ever checked my candy.
Really?
Just like, "Mm,
Risk
fine."
it.
Because I rarely went trick or treating.
Oh,
It was just because I would usually go to my parents' church to
Oh,
get a
really?
lot of candy that way. So it'd be
Yeah.
like, hopefully there aren't razor blades in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I
sin in
know
that.
that it's it's a thing that people have been saying now in Colorado and Portland and places where weed is legalized, to watch out because people are going to give your kids edibles.
Hot brownies.
Well, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't waste your weed.
I wouldn't. Fuck that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we are here at Creep Circuit would like to let you know that if your children have gummies, leave them alone. There is no weed in there.
Yeah.
And if they are, you can send them to us, care of Color Circuit.
Link down below.
Link down below.
Or P.O. box.
Oh, we need a P.O. box.
We should.
Anyway.
I also think that it is a poor use of hospital time because they do every year let you use their x-ray machine to check your candy.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay.
I feel like everybody nowadays is just going to like community centers and parties and stuff. Like that seems to be the safe bet. I mean, like with the whole thing of stranger danger and all that, it's understandable, of course. It feels like the risk kind of outweighs, what the ultimate goal is, which is just to get candy and have your kids go bob for apples and like
Yeah.
play
And
spooky head toss games or whatever.
Is that the true, or is it to raise the dead?
I think it might be
to
the-
speak to spirits and to honor those who have passed and the creatures that we know we don't understand.
Do you honor dead people at Halloween?
Not on Halloween, but the day after.
On
for-
All Saints Day?
Yeah,
Stop
for
doing
Dio-
that, Phil.
Why do you
Sorry.
keep giving
That
me
thing
your...
is gross.
Well, you're the one who brought
I
it
know.
up.
I had to just give it to you because you made me eat most of that.
Well, that's not on me. You want to play the game.
Did you not get a Mary Jane?
No.
She got a crybaby. You both got terrible
we got
candy.
things that made us sad.
Yeah, so I feel like, no, I don't honor dead people on Halloween, but I know that they can walk among us, and I really hope that they have a good time, and it bleeds into Dia de los Muertos, which is totally different, and will not be discussed here, but you can catch it maybe
Next
on
season.
season 2.
Season 2, Dia de los Muertos.
Yep.
Or you can come to my Spanish class where I'll be doing a report on it. So,
Oh, nice.
other than that, let's go ahead and get into what really a lot of people find Halloween to be about, and that is horror movies. Let's get into our top 3 horror movies of all time. They can be, well, let's go ahead and say, what's the ultimate Halloween movie? Somebody had mentioned that Hocus Pocus was the most
Hocus
ultimate.
Pocus is the ultimate Halloween.
I think
It has all the right things in it.
all the elements.
All the elements, yeah,
Yeah.
the components.
Yeah. Such as?
Witches, zombies, rising dead, curses, right? Is there a
Yeah,
curse
there's
in
a
it?
curse.
Yeah, the weather is nice.
Yeah.
Children.
The weather's nice.
I mean, the weather is apt,
Yeah.
I should
Beth
say.
Midler.
Bette Midler.
Beth
yeah.
Midler. Did I
Yeah.
say Beth? Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say that maybe I shouldn't say it, but The Great Pumpkin. That is a good
Aw,
one.
That is a good one.
yeah.
Considering everything, though, maybe we should skip it this year in honor
That's
of
true.
C. Brown.
Based on a true story.
Yeah, now I'm sad.
Sorry, you can cut
Again.
That. You can cut that. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about our all-time favorite horror movies. You can also go with maybe horror stories. Since we kind of touched on a lot of movies, if you have like a favorite horror story, urban legend, we can also talk. You could go ahead and list those because I know, Jennae, you have a wealth of information of things that are beyond medial, the media of horror.
That are
So
menial.
Phil, do you have yours ready?
Yeah,
Okay.
I could go for mine for sure. It's going to be repeating at least one of them, which is The
Right.
Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing. Top alien movie, top horror movie of all time for me. Definitely one of my favorite ones. Then I'm going to have to go with Dead Alive by
Ooh.
Peter Jackson. I don't know if anyone's seen that. It's like a fucking... Of course you have. Our producer has. If you have it on Blu-ray or DVD... I can't find it anywhere. But I saw it once, and it blew my mind. It was just so fun. It was like another, like, it was very gory. It was over the top, like, ridiculous. It was like one of Peter Jackson's, I think, his second film that he ever made. And it was just...
Hold on, the Lord of the Rings guy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he used to make
He used to be a
movies.
horror film guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did Bad Taste. I think that was the first one. Oh, we struck a chord over there with our producer. That one I think you can find online streaming somewhere. But Dead Alive was one of my favorites because it's like kind of zombies, but it's like way over the top, super bloody. There's like an evil demon baby, and
Oh,
he goes like on this
wow.
like weird rampage, like terrorizing people in like a park. It's like so cheap. It's ridiculous, but I love it. Is that what it is?
Brand.
Or yeah, they also call it Brain Dead.
Brain Dead.
Yeah, because he's Australian. It's about
Oh.
drop bears. Anyway.
Bears.
People, he knows. We're connected. So definitely that's one of my other top horror movies. I knew it was gonna happen. I don't know what to pick for my third one, to be honest. There's like so many like really good ones, so many cool ones. I kind of want to do this, and I feel like you're gonna get mad at me, Michelle. But
I know what you're going to say, and if you say it, please don't do it.
but I want to, because it is one of my tops.
What
I
is
really
it?
do like it. It's about a baby.
Don't.
Okay, fine. I'll
No,
think
it's
of something
fine.
else.
It's fine.
No,
Go
it's
ahead.
fine. I'll
You
think of
can.
something else.
Rosemary's Baby.
Yes.
Mary's Baby. Yes.
Yeah, like I actually really
Go
did
ahead.
like that movie.
So, okay, go
Is
ahead.
this one of
We're
your
gonna,
tops
yeah,
too?
but
Okay,
I want
yeah.
to discuss this. Why do you find
Okay.
Rosemary's Baby horrifying?
It's probably not for the reasons you'll say, which is probably much more legitimate because I'm a goddamn man. No, Rosemary's Baby was it was interesting because I remember not going into it not knowing what to expect, and I just remember following. Do you know her name? I know her real name. Mia Farrow.
Rosemary.
Are you
Good
serious?
night, everyone. You know what? I got other things to do right now. What? Oh God, yeah, I'm having problems here.
Oh,
tonight.
that's Dead Alive.
Yeah. It's really good.
Oh, I didn't.
But-
I remember
Can you
that
buy it?
cover.
You can.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, awesome, cool. I'll buy it. I haven't really looked that hard. Rosemary.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But it's just following her journey and everything, like as like all the events are unfolding. like she's discovering what's going on and stuff, and then I don't want to spoil it. But Michelle, what are your top 3?
So I find Rosemary's Baby horrifying because I think everyone's had that experience where something's wrong with you and nobody believes you.
Yeah.
And you can't really identify what's going on.
Yeah.
And that is the most terrifying experience because you can't verbalize it.
Mm-hmm.
And people think you're being hysterical or you have something wrong with you. And that's why I find Rosemary's Baby probably one of the greatest horror movies of all time because it taps into that primal fear of not being able to express what's wrong with you. My second will be Psycho, the Alfred Hitchcock version, because now I've seen it in theaters 3 times now, which I guess, whatever. And
you wouldn't harm a fly. Yeah.
The part that now everybody laughs at when Norman, spoiler, comes out in drag.
Hey.
And at the time, it was horrifying. People were getting, fainting in theaters, and just knowing that somebody could be that deranged scared them. And I love that movie. I just feel like the story could be told over and over again. And of course, my all-time scariest horror movie is The Exorcist. Scares the snot out of me. There'll be sometimes when I'm laying in bed, I'll be like, wouldn't it be messed up if I just saw Reagan's face pop up right now?
Oh, God!
And then I'll be awake for like 8 hours.
Oh,
Yeah, so that is going
like, I know I get that. But.
Yeah. That's going to be mine. What about yours, Jennae?
I didn't do this assignment. I forgot. It's because, okay, let's just go categories here.
Okay.
Like monsters, I like Shaun of the Dead.
Okay.
It's horrifying in a way.
That's
It's
good.
mostly funny. It's horrifying that he has to kill his own mom and all that. And I just like there's horror elements in it, and I don't really know, but
I would
That's
classify
good.
it as a horror movie.
it's really funny.
It is fun. I love that movie.
But second, if we're gonna talk about like scary, like I could talk about like books.
Right.
And
go into that.
Would that be easier? What are your top 3 horror books?
Horror.
I don't read horror books either. I read horror like encounters and
Do you have 3 horrific encounters you can think of?
probably.
Do you want to give it a minute so we can talk about Philippa hijacking my favorite
What?
movie?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you go for
I
it.
killed it.
You did not, but
Good. It was great.
Yeah.
So that movie, Rosemary's Baby, starring Mia Farrow. Her name is Baby.
no
Her
one
last name
puts
is
her
Rose.
in a corner.
Baby Rosemary.
Baby Rosemary. God, my mind is elsewhere, guys. I'm sorry.
There's a lot of those types of movies that came out at that time that I feel really fueled ghost encounters.
Yes.
And were very, very much that brought that.
Pro-ghosts.
What?
Pro-ghosts?
Pro-ghost, yeah, and that really brought that into the conscious. I know in the early 18th century, they're all about ghosts and stuff.
Yes, that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking of. As I've read some scary ass Victorian Halloween, horror stories.
Really?
There was this one. I don't remember who it's by. I don't remember what it's called, but it was so scary because it's in my.
Get all
It's
that
in my.
knowledge from you.
I was like, ah! But it was about this lady, or I guess it was a guy. I don't know. And the point was.
We're going down here.
Oh, by the way, will you look up the author of the the terrors of crossing a field? Something about crossing a field. The hardship of crossing a field. That's what it is. Anyway, I just need to know the author of that
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so this story, it was about this person who, difficulty of crossing a field. Ambrose Bierce. Sorry, I'm so obsessed with that. Ambrose Bierce is a scary ass writer. That is a scary story. So the difficulty of crossing a field is a guy who was walking across a field. There was encounters, and it's supposed to be based on a true encounter. And he gets, it's an amazing story. It's really good. It's really short, and you can hear his voice like raising up in the air, but you don't see him.
Yeah.
And once in a while, in that spot in the field, you hear his voice coming down from the sky.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is a freaky ass story.
Yeah.
So I think that one is one of my top
Yeah.
scary anything.
Yeah.
And then the one I was trying to tell you about is these little kids are like were burned in fire, and they would come out of the fireplace at night and scare the crap out of people. And then she made friends with him at the end, the star of the movie. It was good, and she like put him. And that's why I like Victorian stories. Is sometimes it doesn't like work out too well for the ghosts or the people, but sometimes it's really sweet. Yeah. And I like the Victorian stories because half of the story is describing the house. The second half is the ghost. And it's amazing. It's like, what am I reading? This house sounds amazing. And then some creepy things happen. And at the end, it's like, there was a ghost. And it was scary. And it was like, that was awesome. I'll read a Victorian ghost story anytime.
Yeah.
Have you seen Crimson Peak? I
No.
feel like that would be
Crimson
up your alley.
Peak. Crimson Peak.
It's by Guillermo del Toro, I think.
I love him.
Yeah, he did Crimson Peak. There's very little ghost, but it is very creepy and
The
very
people
Victorian.
under the stairs. Oh God.
Ooh.
That's your favorite.
I want to see
That is
that.
our producer's
Bring
favorite.
it. Wait, I actually have something else to try and redeem myself a little bit. But one of the scariest scenes I think I've ever seen in my entire life was VHS 2.
Yes.
I think that alien abduction. I don't know if you've seen it. It's like it's short. It's like what, like 10, 15 minutes or something like that. But it's like a family. It's like all like handheld sort of thing. Like the family's recording things, and just like all of a sudden out of nowhere, like a family's in their house and bright lights happen, and then they're overrun with aliens, and they're trying to run from them and like hide, and the dog is there, and he has the camera on his back. It's just like it's so intense. Like
Is it supposed to be true or?
Yeah, it's supposed to be like I can't remember what the plot
like
of VHS is.
So it's found footage. It's these people. They're
Can't
two
remember what it's recorded
investigators.
on. Oh, go ahead.
They're two investigators, and they're sent into this house to look for this man, and all the lights are out except for this room similar to this one with just a TV and a whole bunch of stacks of VHS tapes. So the people are sitting there watching the VHS tapes while the other one, and this is what was on one of them.
Yeah.
Was this?
They're all like different. They're just like short horror movies.
It's
really,
like
right?
But it's like a high concept horror.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Everything on it is practical effect.
Oh, great.
So it adds a little bit extra to it. They're a lot of fun.
Good to
Those
know.
VHSs I really did.
And
like,
they
to be
are
honest.
scary, and there's because they mix like supernatural horror elements with legit horror, like walking.
Here's a question for you: psychological horror or legitimately like monster horror, or like fear horror, like
what scares you
supernatural or psychological? Which is scarier?
Psychological is scarier.
Yeah.
I prefer to watch
Yeah, it
monster,
is.
but psychological is way scarier.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. Like, it's funner to watch monsters because it's not damaging your brains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
What about
much-
you?
I agree.
Yeah.
Psycho.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, no.
No, yeah.
What's like a good psychological one?
Silence of the Lambs?
I was gonna say that's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
on
that's
the
like
top.
number one. Silence of the Lambs, maybe.
Probably Sixth Sense, right?
Yeah, Sixth Sense.
But
is
it's
Sure.
supernatural
I don't know.
too.
Oh.
That's true. Okay.
Yeah.
Probably that M. Night Shyamalan movie, not the
Another
one,
one.
not the Sixth Sense, but the other one.
Unbreakable.
Yeah, but that's not horror. But who did Cloverfield?
Kalamazoo.
Cloverfield.
Is that psychological?
No,
I
that's
haven't seen it.
supernatural.
That's like a monster.
Okay, I didn't
But
see
this,
that one.
you mean the 10 Cloverfield Lane?
Yeah.
That was
That one's
very,
good.
very psychological,
Yeah,
but it
that one-
had
yeah.
supernatural elements
Okay.
to it.
So a
Yeah,
little
like
bit of both.
yeah.
But I think
actually
it was
enjoyed that one.
mostly psychological.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it,
definitely.
but I read about
you're,
it.
No, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Like pretty much the 90% of that movie is like a psychological mind fuck, and then the end.
There's
monsters.
aliens.
Yeah. So it's pretty good. It has a good balance. So.
I do
Cool.
like that kind of stuff. All right, so I think that's going to do it here for us at Creep Circuit. Thank you so much for spending your spooky season with us. Make sure to follow Color Circuit on all their good stuff.
It's not so easy to
I'll
remember
link.
now,
I'll
is
put it in the link.
We'll put the links below. It's Color Circuit on Facebook. I think it's Color Circuit Live on Instagram.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, and they have lots of non-spooky things going on. And if you guys enjoy this, maybe we'll be back for a season 2 next year. Until then,
Christmas edition.
or Christmas.
And thank you to our producer. He did all 4 shows. Thank you,
Yeah.
Alex.
Yay,
Thank you
Alex
very
the
much.
axe murderer.
The
Alex
axe,
the axe
murderer. Yeah, until next year, watch out and keep the lights on.
We have to wait for you.
Woo!